do you teach your child language arts using Grammar Galaxy? It's simple. First, you will want to read or have your child read a story in the Adventures in Language Arts book. This is Nebula, the first level, but it works the same with each of the levels depending on your child's reading ability. So first, read the story, and as you are reading, go ahead and define the vocabulary words that are bold in the text. They are given just a simple synonym, so it's easier for your kids to understand what the words mean. Then finish reading the story. It should take you about 10 minutes. You're going to find that there is some teaching material that you're going to want to emphasize in the story that's in the box. And then at the end, you're going to have some comprehension questions that you can ask your child. So for this story, it's what does deflated mean? So you're going to ask your child to recall what one of the vocabulary words means. And then Luke thought he wasn't good at space what? And that is to test to make sure that they were listening to you. And then what's a compound word? Because that's what this particular story is all about. At the end of the story, the Royal Guardians are going to tell you what mission they are writing for your child, and it's compound words, and we're also in chapter 17. So then after you have finished reading the story, then you're going to turn to chapter 17, mission 17 in the mission manual. The very first thing that you're going to read to your child or have your child read is the letter from the Royal Guardians. So this particular letter starts off, "Dear Guardian guys and gals, yes, we are writing with another mission. This time compound words, two words that have been made one, have been separated by mistake. We need you to find them and put them back together before the things these words describe disappear. You'll learn that this is a really important mission. Sincerely, Kirk, Luke, and Ellen English." Then the very first step in the missions is going to be an on-guard session. This is review of concepts that they have learned previously. And much of the time, they are going to highlight the correct answer. So give your child a highlighter and have your child choose a correct answer and highlight it. If you have to read these questions to your child because of your child's reading ability, that is absolutely fine, but let your child do the highlighting, okay? If your child can read these questions, go ahead and turn them loose and let them do that. Then you're going to be asked to have your child say each of the vocabulary words in a sentence. So you're going to want to help your child come up with sentences. So the first vocabulary word is diverted, which means distracted. So I might say, "The squirrel out the window diverted my attention." Now you say a sentence using the word diverted, and just coach your child along to using a sentence with that word. Next, you're going to have your child complete each of the 3 mission steps in the mission manual. It is your choice whether or not you want to complete those on one day. You can do the story and the entire mission in one day. Many families like to do this for a fun Friday. Or you can read the story on a day, do the first step of the mission on a day, and so on. There are so many different variations, and it's up to you. I would say that most commonly, families either choose to do the entire mission on one day, or they break it up into 3 days a week. Okay, so each of the steps is numbered for you with a star. And in step 2, there is always an activity. This is where you, as the teacher, are going to be more involved. So if you have a student who is an excellent reader and can read this material in the mission and do everything on their own, that's great. You might want to check in on the comprehension questions after they've read the story just to make sure that they're getting it. And then for the activity, you're going to want to engage with your student most of the time when it comes to the activity. So it says, for this particular activity, which word do you think you could make the most compound words out of? Back or some? After you've guessed, count how many words you can think of for each. When you run out of ideas, ask your teacher for more. So if you have a student who doesn't have a lot of confidence in their writing speed or ability, then you can dictate, let your child dictate those words to you and write them down, and then give your child some more options. That would be an example of how you can complete that activity. Every mission has an advanced guardian section. This is for children who feel comfortable with their handwriting, they like to write, or it's for children who would be willing to dictate their responses to you, okay? So that can be done on the same day as step 3 or on a separate day. It's completely up to you. After your child has finished the entire mission, all 3 steps, plus the advanced guardian mission, if you're doing that, then it is time for them to get a letter from the Royal Guardians giving them an update on what has happened in the story. And also, your child will receive the answers to the mission steps that they have completed. So this says, "Dear Guardians, with your help, we think we have most of the compound words back together," and it goes on. And this is, again, something that you would read to your student if your student isn't at a really fluent reading level yet. And then the solutions are given, and your child, if your child is capable of going over the solutions and correcting their own work and you trust them to do that, fantastic. Otherwise, you can go over the solutions with your student at this point, okay? And that is all there is to it. Once you have completed the mission and received the update letter and the solutions, then you are ready to read the next story in your adventure book. I hope that helps you to learn how to get the most out of your Grammar Galaxy books.